touched me. Oh, he touched me. And oh, the joy that floods my soul. Something happened, and now I know he touched me and made me whole.
Mind the Lord, Jack.
Something happened, and now I know he touched me and made me whole.
Jack's going to do that first verse again.
You read in the Gospels of the many healing miracles that Jesus did.
Yeah.
And he did them all in different ways. Sometimes he would heal a blind. One time he healed a blind man by spitting on the dirt,
Yeah.
making clay out of it and rubbing it on his eyes. A lot of times he just spoke to people and they were healed. But you notice something, that a lot of times when he was dealing with people that the rest of society had shunned,
He touched
who were untouchable,
Yeah.
according to the Jewish law, where just getting up against them would make you unclean. We find in the 8th chapter of Matthew that a leper came to Jesus. Now, lepers were the ultimate outcasts.
Right.
They had to wear a special garment that identified them as lepers. They had to walk around crying, unclean, unclean, I'm a
amen.
leper, because that disease was so infectious and so catching that the law required that they do that to keep everybody else safe. But in Matthew chapter 8, we find when he had come down from the mountain, great multitudes followed him, and behold, there came a leper and worshipped him, saying, Lord, if thou wilt, thou canst make me clean.
He wasn't expected to get touched.
And Jesus put forth his hand.
Think of that.
Now imagine the reaction
Oh,
the
no.
disciples and the rest of the crowd that was there with him, all seeing this. Lord, you can't do that. You're going to get leprosy.
You
And
got it
Jesus said, I will, be thou clean. And immediately his leprosy was cleansed. You find elsewhere in the Gospels there was a funeral procession going through town.
Yeah.
And one of the other bad things you couldn't do, you couldn't touch somebody with leprosy, but you also couldn't touch a dead person or anything that had come in contact
Right.
with a dead person. And there were good reasons for those laws. We know today they didn't know about germs and stuff like that. There was good reason for that law. You didn't want to get sick off something that was dead and dying. But it had become not just a hygiene thing, it had become a religious thing, it had become a cultural thing. Don't touch anything dead.
Yeah.
But Jesus sees this funeral procession passing through town, and a heartbroken mother following behind the casket there as it's being borne through town. And what does he do? He walks up and lays his hand on the vessel that was carrying that dead boy, and immediately he sat up. So if you think yourself untouchable, if you think, no, God, I'm too dirty, there's no way you'd even want to get close to me.
Come on.
Jesus could have done either of those miracles. He could have cured that man of leprosy.
Yeah.
He did it elsewhere in the Gospels. He could have rose that boy from the dead just like he did Lazarus by the mere sound of his voice. But he went out of his way to touch these people. To show those that were around that nobody is too dirty, nobody is too unclean to get a healing touch from the Lord. Shackled by a heavy burden, neath the load of guilt and shame,
touched me. And oh, the joy that floods my soul. Something wonderful happened, and now I know He touched me and made me.
Do that last verse, Josh. Since I met
Since I'm at this blessed Savior,
Has He been good to you now?
since He cleansed me,
Bless my brother. Bless him.
I will never cease to praise Him. I'll shout in what He's Oh, He touched me, and oh, the joy that floods my soul. Something happened, and now I know He touched me and made me
I'm glad He touched me this morning, Richard.
Bless you, Ron.
He touched
Bless
my
you.
heart.